Welcome back. We've just used a pellet here in this room, and this room is actually the pellet testing room. This device in front of us scans the pellets and tests their quality, and this bar will indicate the quality of the pellet. If the bar fills up completely, you've done it correctly, and you can then see the result of what happens when the pellet is dropped into the water. And if you see this bright white glow, it's another indicator that you've done it correctly. If you use the wrong settings on the ovens, you might get a pellet that does nothing or has some other unintended result. And these pellets, like I said, were actually used to feed the algae in the lake of the Dunny. I'm not sure if that's the entire purpose of Arcana's factory, or if they also produced food for the people of Dunny to eat. I suppose it probably did both, because building this entire facility just to make food for the algae seems a bit extraneous to me. And now what we want to do is drop one of these pellets in the Bahro cave, because there's a little pool at the bottom of the lower Bahro cave, and hopefully that will do something useful, or at least interesting. One thing we definitely don't want to do is pull this lever, because it discards all the pellets and we'd have to make a new batch. Well, using the Bahro linkstone, we link to the upper Bahro cavern, where we drop the pellet. Unfortunately, from here we can't really see the results of our action. We can see some drawings and stuff, but it's not very clear. So how can we get a better look at that? So the problem is we cannot be in two places at the same time. So we need to be in the lower Bahro cave when the pellet is dropped. But we need to be in the upper Bahro cave to drop it. How do we solve that problem? Well, actually it turns out we don't. We don't need to. Can link back to Annone, Kadish's room, which is where the Bahro stone to the lower cavern is. And we also found this drawing here of the two Bahro caves, which are connected. And there's also this time symbol next to it, with the number 625, which I already explained, refers to 625 Proron T, which is 14.5 minutes, which you could test with this clock here. And what this drawing means is that there is in fact a 14.5 minute time delay between the upper Bahro cave and the lower Bahro cave. So, although we dropped the pellet in the upper Bahro cave and could see the results from up there, here in the lower Bahro cave it's actually 14.5 minutes earlier, meaning that us dropping the pellet has yet to happen. So it seems that the Bahro, or perhaps Yisha, unlike Kadish, actually have the ability to manipulate time and create these two caves which are disconnected in time. So what we need to do once again is wait for the pellet to fall down, which will take another 14.5 minutes. But again, I will use video editing to prevent you from having to watch me wait for it. And there it came. Now, one thing this does is it reveals this pattern here. We quickly need to take a picture of that. Now let's look around and admire all the various pictures, which are representations of things we've seen in Uru. But we don't have a lot of time to look at that. And if you'd want to get a clearer look at the pictures, you could go back and drop more pellets. But we got what we came for, which is this pattern. So I think that's enough. So now what do? We've explored Annonay. We've revealed there that Kadish couldn't actually travel through time, therefore is not the grower. We've explored Arcana and used it to make these pellets to reveal this pattern. But there's nowhere else we can go. So all we have left to do is try and solve the Path of the Shell room in the Watcher Sanctuary, aka the Great Tree Pop. But how do we do that? Well, we read in the notebook in the Watcher Sanctuary that according to Kadish, the clues to solving that puzzle are in the Watcher's Prophecies words, those 5 books that we have here. But those were really cryptic. We have, however, been seeing a lot of numbers all over the place, and these numbers always came in pairs. And the first of each pair was a number between 1 and 5, which matches the number of books we have. So, we can therefore theorize that the second number is the line we need. And that's in fact true. So, let's try and find which clues we need. However, since I'm pretty much, well, I'm not really out of time yet, but I am getting close, and this will take a little bit of time to find all of the correct lines, so I will continue in the next video.